Every day, I read newspaper articles to get an idea, a lot of articles, to get an idea of what people are talking about around the world, to learn what's occupying people's minds. Not that it changes that dramatically from week to week. The answer is disconcerting. Even though the complaints and solutions seem to be about a wide variety of subjects, there's a theme, one, uniting them all. Everybody is complaining, that's one thing, about programs or institutions that are deficient. Things that need to be promoted, modified, eliminated. Like what? Like political parties, like the government at, every conceivable level, systemic racism or critical race theory, conservatism, liberalism, the economy, the military, poverty programs, social nets, industry, international relations, health policies, the schools, addiction programs, gun laws, endless laws about, everything, religion, Middle East policy, and more. And those were all the subjects I got from reviewing one newspaper for 2 days. In all of these endless articles, there is no mention, zero, I'm looking for it, of individual responsibility for attitudes, feelings, and choices. No, programs, policies, parties, things, blah, blah. William Golding was the Nobel Prize-winning author of Lord of the Flies, a novel that really impacted me as a teenager. And he said that he used to believe that social programs could perfect mankind. Quote, that a correct structure of society would produce goodwill, and that therefore you could remove all social ills by a reorganization of society. End quote. That was a common belief then. But, it still is now. But with experience, he changed his mind completely, and he realized that we individuals make our own choices and create our own good and evil. He said, quote, the shape of a society must depend on the ethical nature of the individual and not on any political system, however apparently logical or respectable. End quote. He gave up on society reorganizing and changing everything. That's a great deal of wisdom. A lifetime of wisdom. He didn't realize this till later in life. It's a variation on a saying that was commonly spoken many years ago that I recall vividly. You can't legislate or regulate morality, individual ethics and choices. It has to be taught to individuals by, surprise, you. Mothers and fathers. In a Newsweek article of years ago, Robert Samuelson said that the Comprehensive Child Development Program was created by Congress in 1988. The idea was to provide, quote, intensive social services to poor mothers for the first 5 years of their children's lives. They would get everything from parenting classes to job training to drug counseling, teach them how to be human beings. Young mothers received home visits every 2 weeks from case managers who taught parenting skills, advised on personal problems, did personal counseling, identified useful government services, taught them life. 4,400 families were enrolled. Half received the counseling and the other half didn't. All of them were below the poverty line. 58% were single mothers. 51% had not finished high school. 35% had their first child before age 18. Not hard to find people like that today, huh? The program spent, and this just kind of blew me away, the program spent $35,000 per year per mother in today's dollars, only on the counseling and education, not food or physical assistance, $35,000. So that means that they got counseling equivalent to paying each family $18 per hour full-time all year. In other words, a living. The total cost was nearly $700 million over 9 years. Studying these actually 2,200 families got this. The others were just controls an equal number of people who didn't get it. An independent research firm studied the effects. That was wise, because if the government studies the effect of their own program, it's always wonderful. The research firm concluded that this program, quote, did not produce any important positive effects at all on participating families, end quote. It didn't affect joblessness, weekly wages, rate of food stamps, child vocabulary, which is a singular indication of a child's indication, or behavior problems. It didn't help anything at $35,000 per mother. The article concluded that, quote, what people do for themselves matters more than what government tries to do for them. Kill me. Individual responsibility. They kept going. A society that is too free with its decency, with its giving, will promote dependency. Nice play on words, decency and dependency. And the investments that truly count for children come from parents. Who was the person that had the courage to do this in 1998? And what comes from parents? They kept going. I'm still quoting them. Love. Hardly believe I was reading that word. And security, discipline, and instruction, a sense of worth. You want me to distill that for you? What really makes a difference to a child is loving and teaching. And I'm modifying their words on none. We keep debating programs and policies endlessly in the newspapers and everywhere else. When will we see how futile it has been for generations? It doesn't work. It won't work. When will we take responsibility as parents to love and teach our children instead of having somebody else do it? It's our only hope for solving all these problems that we talk about. Violence, anger, whining, bitter political debates, addictions, depression, suicide, racism, children isolated from parents, anxiety, ADHD, and on and on. We parents have the power to solve all that. So what's the answer to society's problems? Well, I just said it, and so did that study. Us, loving and teaching our children. This was a study that spent nearly $1 billion just to get this answer. That society isn't the solution. We parents have the problems to solve all this. But nothing's going to happen until we take that responsibility. Somebody can say you're responsible, but until we do it, nothing's going to happen. And we have to stop giving the responsibility to governments and programs, or the internet, or nobody. We can do this. We have to do this, or our children die. The cost is beyond our ability to imagine or shoulder. So why not try?